And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Motor Point Arena here in the capital city of beautiful Cardiff, Wales, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, the main event of the evening, the tournament final for the vacant CWFC Bantamweight Championship of the World. The three judges scoring this bout at ringside on the 10-point must system: Andy Sledge, Ben Cartledge, and David Leatherby. And when the action begins inside the cage, your referee in charge, Mark Goddard. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the eyes of the world upon us, the judges are ready, the fighters are ready. Cardiff, Wales, make some noise if you are ready! Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, is a mixed martial artist standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in officially 134.5 pounds. He brings an outstanding professional record that stands at 7 victories and 2 defeats. Fighting out of and representing Manchester, England, here is handsome Jordan Desborough. And next is opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. His background in judo, boxing, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. At 5 feet 7 inches tall, he weighed in officially 135 pounds. A veteran of 8 professional fights, he is perfect inside the cage. 8 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of and representing Swansea, Wales, here is the undefeated Brett the Pikey Johns. Once again, referee Mark Goddard with the final instruction.
Listen all the time, keep yourself protected. When I say stop, you stop. If you want to touch, do it now. Let's do this.
So Mark Goddard gets the job for our main event. We have Brett the Pikey Johns, the Welshman, in the black trunks in the red corner, with handsome Jordan Desborough in the black trunks with the SBG emblazoned across them. Scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. We saw the Sean Shirt style of Brett the Pikey Johns and a very fluid game of Jordan Desborough.
Yeah, both guys very similar when they get up against the cage, so tight in their level changes and attacking the hips of their opponent.
It's so bizarre to think that these two guys are just 21 and that they are indeed facing one another tonight. So many variables, so many combinations, but it's these two warriors that have made it through to fight for the gold.
Good level change from Brett Johns. Turns Desborough all the way around and getting in on the hips. And this is pretty much what we saw for his third round against Hagstrom. Was that one takedown needed and then that continual work rate on top.
Remember, keep using that hashtag CWFC59 and you could win 2 tickets to the London show. And on that note, just in at James_Brum, 2012 Fighter of the Year at Cage Warriors, bantamweight contender. Respect to both fighters in the final of the Cage Warriors 135-pound tourney. I would love to fight the winner. That belt is mine. Who would it be? Will he be the guy for the first defense?
Yeah, James Brum is certainly in contention for a shot at anybody, but one of these guys has got to walk away with it first. I'm curious to see the groundwork off the back from Jordan Desborough.
To be the champion, you've got to fight and beat the best.
And he did a really good job of turning Brett Johns in that scramble. Johns now looking for a switch. Good work from Desborough to move straight to the back though, and he's jumping for, rolling for a knee bar.
Oh, nice there from Brett Johns. He still has.
He's trying to get it extended. Desborough's done a great job of getting his weight back over it. Still going after it though.
Oh, Desborough finds himself in the half guard.
Good scramble there from both guys.
We mentioned in the semi-final for Brett Johns that with his judo background, he's very used to the tournament setup. He would have had to have gotten his heart rate up and down many times before in those kind of challenges. However, this is mixed martial arts. I understand there's a different dynamic. But when you're talking such small margins, everything is relevant. Nice elbow there from Desborough.
Desborough maintaining this top position well. He's threatening the neck straight away. It's giving Johns a few things to think about in trying to scramble.
Yeah, good success there from Desborough. Good combinations to set up the takedown.
And this is what we mostly saw from Desborough in his fight, pushing forward, head very tight on the hips against the cage.
Yeah, we didn't see a great deal of Johns on his back against Hagstrom. Desborough with the biggest opportunity. And he's really looking to seize it.
Well, it was a brilliant level change from Desborough, but a fantastic quick switch from...
And an educated crowd here in Cardiff really appreciating that.
Now it's Desborough rolling through, trying to retain guard.
Chris Reese calling out to Johns to stay safe. This is where he does his best work. Don't put yourself in danger, but maintain activity, do some damage. Don't overcook it. Jordan Desborough with the backing of the SBG guys in his corner. Carl Tanswell, head coach. Matt Inman, Cage Warriors veteran. Aaron Wilkinson, Cage Warriors veteran. We're going to see him soon.
Butterfly guard now for Desborough. It's going to be hard to do much work with his back pressed up against the cage there, though. And Johns is constantly getting his hips elevated to play with the posture.
Good work from Johns. Good activity, lots of strikes to complement his wrestling. Last 10 seconds, a nice combination there from Desborough.
Brett Johns is looking to hit that switch immediately as soon as Desborough closes in on the hips. Good pace to that first round from both fighters.
Yeah, especially considering what's ahead and what they've done. But they're nicely warmed up to get things underway.
Yeah, both guys had their moments and portions of control there. We can see the initial takedown from Brett Johns, just pulling the hips out. It was a nice sweep from Desborough in the scramble, and he really looked to attack from there. It was a nice rolling knee bar attempt from Johns. He did almost manage to get the extension, but Desborough got his weight back on it so quickly. Here's the switch, drops his hip in and turns his man very quickly.
Using the momentum of his opponent just to hang on for the ride. As we look like we're pretty much set for the second round of this world title contest. John Gooden and Josh Palmer, your commentary team. Cage Warriors 59, Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff, Wales. Good combination and flurry from Jordan Desborough. He's finding really nice angles to land some strikes from.
Yeah, I mean, he landed a very nice uppercut at the end of that round and immediately then used it to level change. But really nice to see him put some of these hands together because he is finding a home for them.
Both of these guys just 21 years of age. Before, you would hear me saying that they are the future of the division. But they are very much at the top this evening.
Again, that head on the outside in looking for the double leg really makes you susceptible to that switch. And Brett Johns is using it very efficiently now.
Brett Johns masterful on the ground. Wrestle, wrestle, wrestle was what he aimed to do. Will Jordan Desborough and his submission game allow Johns to do what he wants to do on the ground? Or will he be able to put a stop to it and have a very decent answer for him?
I mean, I think the thing is, Brett Johns spends so much time in this, he's used to earning this guard position, and then he spends so much time learning to nullify submission attempts, get your short shots in, keep that position established. And that really is his MO, and he's very good at it.
Nice scramble here from Desborough,
yes.
Shifting his hips around.
Some good elevation with the butterfly hooks, not quite able to off-balance Johns enough to really put them to use, but good work nonetheless.
Johns using elbow strikes to slow down Desborough. Desborough gets back to his feet, much to the contentment of his corner.
Yeah, keeping the hips nice and close, not opening any space for Johns to throw any knees. See if he level changes again.
A decent pace to this, Josh. These guys have got a long way to go as well yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very solid work rate. Both of them look very well conditioned. And there's Johns with a nice penetration for that takedown.
Very much fighting this round to round.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know if either guy had much of a chance in the changing rooms to put together any kind of game plan, or if, as you say, they've got to just take it as it comes.
SBG asking for Desborough to post out. Use that fence to get back to his feet.
Brett Johns really weighing heavy on Desborough here, contorting him into a few very awkward positions for his legs.
Brett Johns is just so very heavy in this top position. Desborough's a tricky customer.
See if Johns looks to try and move to the back here. He's going to stay very tightly connected to those hips.
Johns is just making sure that Desborough can't easily get back to his feet. And he's doing well with that. Some more news just in from Cage Warriors HQ, and it's concerning the lightweight tournament, which will be staged at Cage Warriors 60. Stay on social media on Monday as the pairings will be announced. Let's keep that momentum going and that tournament spirit. So Monday, the pairings for that tournament will be announced.
Desborough's doing a lot of scrambling, but Johns is so good at staying heavy, but back to their feet for one last exchange in this round. And that is when Johns is having a lot of success. It's timing those incoming strikes of Desborough and really surging forward.
You can't wait a moment on Brett Johns. His timing is absolutely excellent. And even fatigued, his technique is textbook.
Time, guys.
End of another round for these two young warriors.
Desborough looking fairly fresh as he stands back up. He's nodding his head, just saying, yeah, I kind of understand what happened in that round.
A very controlling round there from the Pikey. Let's take a look at some of that action. Really nice work on the knee there, and the combination to follow it from Desborough. It's a shame for him that he didn't get some clear landing strikes. And just look at the way that Brett Johns, he foresaw how that leg was going to come in and where he could create an angle to enter and get it down. And he did so with perfection and worked on the back of that success.
Let's go, guys.
Jordan Desborough listening intently to his corner. Absolute trust in his team, as it should be.
Third round, guys. Ready? Ready? Come on, let's go. Bye.
Brett Johns bites down on his gum shield, looks across at his opponent through his eyebrows, and a big exchange of hooks.
Yeah, both guys having success there in that exchange.
Can we take any more drama here in Cardiff?
We haven't seen too many extended periods of striking. Both guys very good at closing the distance. Both do have very similar fighting styles. Brett Johns again comes forward, changes the angle, and now just weighing very heavy on the hips as he looks to work to the back. Earned himself a good guard pass. Is he going to make it to the back, or is Desborough going to come up on top?
Desborough tucked his arms in nicely. Looks like he's in a decent position if he can avoid any triangle setups.
Yeah, if Desborough lets that right leg of Brett Johns come out, he'll be in trouble, but I think he's doing all the right things. He's stuffing the leg, and he's got good options for stack passes here.
Yeah, finds himself in the guard, or half guard, I should say, of Johns. And now it's his turn on top, and his turn to score on those judges' scorecards.
This is the first time we've seen Desborough with a sustained period on top for some time now.
And he's got a long time left as well, 3.5 minutes to do some work if he gets it right. Nice elbow. Had John's face bouncing off of the mat.
Good short elbows from Desborough, but I like the triangle setups again.
Let's go, Pikey, let's go. Again, ringing around the arena, encouraging their man, the Welsh son, to come forward and win in front of his home crowd.
Oh, Brett Johns with a head and arm choke from the bottom here. Let's see if he can get much of a squeeze on. He was getting his hips up very nicely for some submission attempts.
He needs some good purchase on that.
Oh, and I think Desborough might be having to... Can't quite tell how deep it is.
He's still thudding away at the rib cage.
Yeah, and he's withdrawn the arm now. Desborough's doing a very good job of showing how aware of a lot of the submission attempts he is.
Very active is Desborough.
Yeah, I love that Brett Johns is trying to fight his legs up for these. You see Desborough drive that left arm back through in defense. He can't let an arm get isolated. And Brett Johns deciding he's perhaps spent enough time on the ground and pops straight back up to his feet. Trying to scrape his opponent off the cage here.
John showing that he is still quite dangerous off of his back as well, Josh.
It's the first time we've really seen him do a lot of work off his back, and really nice to see him opening up for those submission attempts, trying to hip up for all those triangles.
Again,
just so fast on that level change.
Just so quick to the takedown.
And he's penetrating so well, and his timing is so good that he's not really even having to change direction. He's just driving through, picking one leg up, and he's got enough penetration in that drive to really throw his man off balance.
Yeah, Desborough could do worse than use uppercuts when these guys separate. Just see if he can catch Johns on the way in, because it looks quite easy for him. I think it looks quite easy because Johns is so very good, not because Desborough doesn't have an answer for it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been touting Johns for a while, and of course he got to 7-0 undefeated. But I mean, if he were to take the title tonight with two very good, lengthy performances, what a tough and well-earned belt that would be.
Brett Johns mentioned that it would be a childhood dream to become a world champion and sign an autograph. Everything could fall into place for him this evening.
I mean, you've got to figure, Brett Johns is coming to the end of his 6th 5-minute round here tonight. And you know, it's one thing to hear his teammates say, yeah, he's good for 7 or 8 5-minute rounds if he needs it. But to actually see it happening and to see the consistent work rate is quite something.
How tough is this going to be for Desborough as well, with Brett Johns weighing down on him and him trying to get back to his feet? Is that one of the most grueling parts of the game?
Yeah, it is. It's bearing the other guy's weight. It's having to scramble. It doesn't look explosive, but it's a consistent energy. And Desborough is still very much game for this one. Both these guys, I think, really looking forward to it going into the championship rounds here.
Well, both guys showing signs of wear and tear, battling their way forward to try and clinch that gold. This really is the highlight of these young fighters' careers. Both are so very hungry and have been presented with such a unique opportunity. Who wants it more? Well, neither are really showing obvious signs.
I'm amazed how much
fatigue.
how much pep both these guys have got in their step, standing in their corners. They both look like they're really ready to go for this in this last 10 minutes.
Yeah, whatever happens, both camps should be incredibly proud of their young fighters and themselves for preparing these guys, both physically and mentally, to take on a tournament. Those used to competitive action will know what it means to get involved in a combat sports tournament. It really is the highest level of competition.
Jordan Desborough again trying to really put that handiwork to use, but Brett Johns once again, as we've seen him do already so many times tonight, closing the distance, surging forward. Just steadying himself here, look for him to pull the hips out.
Oh, nice pick up there from Johns, and he's actually got an opportunity to step over, as we saw. He isolated the arm.
Yeah, now this is the first time we've seen him in a dominant, well, and that's how long it lasted. Jordan Desborough immediately turning around on the single leg.
Slippery little SBG guy. Really, I'm really impressed with the skill level of Jordan Desborough. This is a step up in competition for him, and it's almost as if he's just done about 3 years of learning in one night.
Yeah, I mean, both guys, regardless of what happens, are going to take so much away from this evening. Desborough looking for the takedown, but just having to disengage, and John straight in on the single leg. Looking to now connect the hands around the hips. And he's so strong in that pickup.
He's deceivingly strong, and I think it's because he's perhaps not fully developed physically.
Yeah.
He's a stocky, small-framed guy at this weight as well.
Exactly, that's it. He's got that kind of body type. Very, very dense musculature, and of course those years of judo are going to, give him some incredible core strength.
Yeah, as we said earlier on in the evening, he's been practicing judo since he was just 4 years of age. His body has grown with the rigors of being tossed around. The wear and tear on one's back, joints and muscles. And he really is made for this kind of competition. Jordan Desborough with a rugby background, very similar in their approaches to training.
Johns with good underhooks here.
Jordan Desborough getting lots of constructive instructions from the SBG
and
camp.
Still so cognizant of it as well, but Brett Johns saying, I don't care if you're right next to your corner, I'm going to earn another takedown here.
He's just like sellotape, isn't he? He's like glue. You cannot get him off.
Rolling for the knee bar now is Jordan Desborough. Brett Johns tried this earlier, but again, same defense. Johns has really sat his weight down. Oh, straight ankle lock time here.
Good defense there from Johns. But
using that straight ankle lock very nicely to pass guard and earn the sweep.
Now he's in his corner, in top position with 1:20 to work. Everything that he does will be echoed by his corner as the crowd start trying to buoy the Welshman to reverse this. Back and forth exchanges throughout this contest. The judges will be timing how much time is spent by each fighter in a controlled situation or a controlling situation. Who has the upper hand? Everything counts.
Yeah, it's good. What I will say, though, I think, is when Jordan Desborough has had those periods of top control, he's landed a few more strikes, he's landed a bit more damage. The work from Johns has been, it's been nullifying, but it hasn't been explosive and damaging, and Jordan Desborough really does try and seize those opportunities to land a lot of shots.
Yeah, more flurries, whilst Brett Johns is very consistent with his approach.
Again, though, Johns is still looking for those submission entries.
Stop, guys.
So, we will see yet another round here in Cardiff as we sail ever closer to finding out who is going to take the vacant bantamweight belt. The lovely Brooke showing us we're getting into round number 5. Brett Johns with another big pickup.
I mean, he's landed so many takedowns. He's so tight in on those hips. Some good variation in those takedowns. But there was a good period of top control from Desborough here, who really does still look quite fresh in his corner.
Both corners will be saying, how much does this mean to you? How much do you want it? It is there for you. The table is laid. It is time for you to seize that opportunity.
Come on, guys, let's do this. That's one.
Carl Tanswell of SBG is growling at his young fighter. Chris Rees stood in front of his young fighter, barking in his face. They're doing everything they can to squeeze the last droplets of energy from these guys.
For the first time, Brett Johns a bit awry on his takedown entry, and Desborough shrugs him off.
We'll give him that one, Josh.
I think so. I'd love to know how many takedowns he scored over the course of this evening. Good, strong punches from Desborough. Nice to see him opening up on the feet here.
These guys do not look like they're in their second fights of the evening and the 5th round.
I mean, it's 7 rounds for Desborough, 8 for Johns.
Nice combination there for Desborough. He was using that uppercut setup. It was the hook that landed it, but Johns coming forward powerfully to drag it down.
He gets such a deep grip with that right hand when he surges forward that his opponents just can't backstep and base quick enough. And I don't think that Desborough can afford to spend too much time underneath. Yet more control from Brett Johns.
He has like a mechanical claw grip, does young Brett Johns. And he's still shutting down the defences of Desborough. Desborough gets halfway up. He needs to get his base nice and wide and centred if he's going to stop Brett Johns from...
And Brett Johns with another good pickup, but popping back to his feet is Jordan Desborough, trying to just use those underhooks one more time.
Yeah, shoveling up, using some power to get up and turn Johns onto the fence.
Such a good level change again. Johns going to that switch and again having success with it. Oh, not quite though, spoke too soon.
So Desborough, half guard, looking for striking options. Every time Johns is put in a bad position, the crowd here at the Motor Point respond. Lots of support here for the 21-year-old Welshman.
Butterfly guard now for Desborough. Oh, sorry, for Johns.
Desborough working all sorts of striking angles.
Nice to see the feet on the hips from Johns. He's still looking to get the hips out and attack, even this deep into this final fight.
Round number 5 for the World Bantamweight title. It's been a complete pleasure commentating this one this evening, all the way through the semi-finals. James Pennington won his way a spot in the final, but injury withdrew him from competition. And that's why we see Jordan Desborough, who is in the reserve contest, advance from his TKO victory over Timur Merjanoglu. Looked impressive in that bout, looking impressive in this bout.
He really is. I mean, he's pushed Brett Johns the whole way here. To be completely honest with you, John, I've lost track of the earlier 4 rounds and who might be out ahead here.
Well, psychological factors could apply. Desborough in the last minutes of the round. If he can keep it here, that will look good for him. He's very active up in top position. Not huge power bombs, but working away, digging in to the body and head.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with the work rate of Jordan Desborough. When he gets on top, he is throwing strikes constantly. And that's really the difference between the two styles of top game that these two have had. But to be honest, Brett Johns has been the one who's been putting it on the floor much more consistently.
Maybe longer spent in that top position. We really will be pulling apart the bones of how this is scored.
Final attempt at the armbar, perhaps, for Brett Johns.
We are really in the dying embers of this contest, and that is it. It's the end of mixed martial arts for what seems like an endless evening here in Cardiff as these two young warriors raise their arms up. Everyone here this evening in this tournament can be proud of the way that they have fought. It's been a real spectacle, but these two guys in particular have shown their class, their skill, and their conditioning. I haven't a clue who is the winner. That is not an enviable job sitting there in the judges' seat. The futures of these young men, I beg your pardon, is in their hands. Brett the Pikey Johns, handsome Jordan Desborough. England versus Wales. It goes to the wire, and it's nice to see these two with a warm embrace. Great sportsmanship from them the whole way through this. It was about personal goals and nothing more for these particular two as they went through the previous fights. And such a tense weight. But these guys have worked very, very hard indeed. As I see the familiar figure of our veteran announcer, Joe Martinez. It's time for me to throw it to Joe, and let's find out who will be the new champion.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the scorecards, and here are the judges' totals. Judge Ben Cartledge has it 48-47 for Desborough. Judge Andy Sledge, 48-47 for Johns. And Judge David Leatherby scores the contest 48-47 for your winner by split decision. And now, the CWFC Bantamweight Champion of the World, Brett the Pikey Johns.
So the belt stays here in Wales. Brett the Pikey Johns is the world bantamweight champion. He is undefeated. He was the overwhelming underdog coming into this competition amongst the other 4 original candidates. But he sees off the competition, and the young 21-year-old is the champion. But what a great fight that Jordan Desborough put up. He came through from the reserve bout and made for a fantastic final. But Brett the Pikey Johns is our champion, and I'm eager to hear from him. He is now with Josh.